Hey guys, it's Dan with Farmscape Foods and Catering here again. Hope everyone's doing well. This week we're doing something a little bit different. We're actually working with BC Blueberries to put together the recipe that's in this video. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a blueberry mustard, and this mustard we're featuring on our lunch menus, our corporate catering menu, and charcuterie platters that we're going to be doing up throughout the season. So it's pretty exciting. There's 4 different local suppliers that we're going to be featuring in this video. And then make sure you check out the link in the description below to BC Blueberries, where you can track down a local farm in close proximity to you, so you can get your hands on some of these awesome blueberries and try to make this mustard yourself. So I'm going to put everything together here and show you how to make mustard.
Hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How about cooking something up with me? Hey, sweet baby, don't you think maybe we can find us a brand new recipe?
So just a quick lesson here on working with mustard. The level of heat that we're going to get in our end result for this mustard is going to be determined by the temperature of the liquid when we add in the mustard seed. So if you were to just be making a mustard just with say, vinegar and mustard seed, if your vinegar is, if you boil it first and then add in your mustard seed, it's going to be very mild. But if you refrigerate your vinegar first and then let your mustard seed soak that up in the fridge, it's going to be super hot. So what we're aiming for with this recipe is to go somewhere in between. We want the liquid to be basically warm when we add in the majority of the mustard, and then we're going to grind some of the mustard seed, and once it's chilled a bit, then we're going to add that in and let it absorb it overnight. It's going to thicken up, and that little bit of ground mustard that we add in towards the end is going to up that level of heat. So that's what determines your heat when working with mustard seed, is your temperature of the liquid. So yeah, I'm going to get everything together here and we'll start this recipe. Alright guys, so here are all of our ingredients. I'll quickly run through it with you. First thing to make blueberry mustard would be your blueberries. So this is 2 cups or 1 pint of beautiful plump blueberries that we got out of the Cedar Valley. Here we have lemon verbena wine vinegar. This is a really bright, herbaceous, herb-based vinegar that we got from Salt Spring Vinegar Company. Her information is here, and we'll put a link in the description below. This is one of those products that if you can get it, it really heightens your food. Just any of her vinegars. She does an amazing job. So I'm stoked to have such a good relationship with her and be able to have a pretty great selection of her vinegars on hand at all times. So that's going to work with these blueberries really well. Excited about that. We have 1/3 of a cup of white wine. This is Damasco from Nanaimo Winery out of the Cowichan Valley. This is a bright, easy sipping wine that my culinary school wine instructor would have referred to as a porch pounder. So definitely enjoyed drinking most of this bottle. Had a little bit left. We're going to use it for this recipe. Here we have about 3 tablespoons that we're going to use of honey. This is from Keating Farm. Again, we'll put a link in the description below to Keating Farm. They're a new venue and a terrific farm with tons of great products. So they're doing a lot of amazing things. Make sure you check them out as well. Here we have 1 cup of mustard seed, depending on who you ask, either white or yellow mustard seed. I call it yellow. Here we have 1 tablespoon of pink peppercorns. This is a little bit more well-rounded of a pepper flavor than just your really kind of biting black peppercorn flavor. So it's a little bit fruity as well. It's going to complement those blueberries well as well. And then we have 1/2 teaspoon here of blackberry salt from Salt Spring Sea Salt. And another great product coming out of Salt Spring. This we use a lot for our catering as a garnish for a bunch of different canapes. We're going to use that this time, hoping that that blackberry flavor is just going to be another level of flavor to go in here into this mustard. So yeah, I'll show you the next step. Alright guys, so we have our blueberries, our vinegar. If you don't have that herb vinegar, use some white wine vinegar instead. Our white wine and our honey in this pot. And what we're going to do is we're just going to start reducing this. We want to make somewhere between a reduction a blueberry, and almost a coulis, if you're familiar with that. So you'll see what the end result is. We want the blueberries to break down. We want everything to infuse together, and then we're going to strain it because I want my mustard, the only chunks, the only coarseness from the mustard to be from the mustard seed itself. You don't have to do that if you want to keep it a little bit chunkier. You don't have to strain out the blueberries, but what I'm going to do is start cooking these guys down. As they start to soften, I'm going to get in there and break them up a little bit, keep cooking it down, and then strain it off. And then at that point, we will add in the rest of our ingredients, so our mustard, our pink peppercorn, and our blackberry sea salt. Alright guys, so this has been simmering for about 10 minutes here, and it's already reached the point where I think I'm happy with it. So what I'm going to do now is get in there just with a potato masher here and start breaking up these blueberries a little bit. And then once I do that, I'll let it simmer for another 5 minutes or so. Alright guys, so this is cooked plenty down. It's a really nice flavor right now, so I'm going to take it off the heat, and then I'm going to strain this, and then we'll let it cool down a little bit before adding in our ground peppercorns and our part of our mustard along with the salt. So we're just going to strain this now through a fine mesh sieve. And my preference is to get all the skin, all the pulp out of this. You might not have that same preference, but I'm looking for a cleaner finish to this mustard. Next thing, now that we have this nicely strained, is adding our salt and letting that dissolve, and then letting our black peppercorns, or excuse me, pink peppercorns steep in this liquid. So we're going to let this cool to a little bit warmer than body temperature, and then we're going to add in about 3/4 of our mustard. So I'm just going to let this cool down a bit, and then add the mustard. Alright guys, so our mixture here has chilled down to 102 degrees or so. That'll do it for us. It can be just around 100 degrees, it's fine. What we're going to do now is we're going to add in about 3/4 of our mustard here. I'm going to give it a stir, and I'm going to let it sit again until mostly chilled. And then once this has chilled pretty well, dropping to pretty much room temperature, then we're going to grind in the rest of our mustard seed here. We're going to grind it and then add it in. And that's going to be the last addition of this. And what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it up and let it refrigerate overnight and give it a taste, make sure everything's where we want it, and make sure the consistency is what we're looking for. Alright, so I've made a decision here. What I'm going to do, just because I want to make sure I end up with the consistency that I want, and in case it ends up being a little bit too thin, what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain out some of this liquid right now. A little over 1/3 of the liquid. And then tomorrow, once we look at it, we can always, if it's too thick, we can always add some liquid back in, but we're not going to be able to take it back out tomorrow. So now is the time to do this. Add those mustard seeds that I just strained out, add them back in. And now I have the rest of those original mustard seeds that I've ground to be pretty fine, not a powder, but they just busted them up pretty thoroughly here. And so now I'm just going to add this in, give it a stir, wrap it up, and we'll check on it tomorrow. can see already, those whole mustard seeds are going to grow, and it's going to cause this to thicken up quite a bit. So I expect to be adding a lot of that liquid back in tomorrow, but just to be on the safe side, I took some out. Alright, so I'll check on this in the morning. Alright guys, so here's the final product after it's sat overnight. I added all that liquid back into it, but the consistency is right where I want it. The color doesn't show up as nicely on the camera as it is in person, but it's a deep blue color. It's going to be awesome on our charcuterie platters and on sandwiches. It's a pretty great product here that we ended up with, so super stoked. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button. If you like what we're doing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. There's links in the description below to all of the suppliers we featured in this video, including BC Blueberries, where you can track down a farm close to you so you can get your hands on some of these blueberries and try to make this mustard on your own. So give that a go. Don't forget, no matter how you do it, support local. Thanks guys.